hotter the conflict, the greater the triumph.
A theist serpent may be overcome by a swarm of ants.
Lead me, follow me, or get out of my way. Age wrinkles the body, quitting wrinkles the soul.
Battle buddies.
Battle buddies.
All right, Spencer. Enlighten the listeners. Why aren't dreams relevant to our lives? Why are they useless?
Dreams, from my understanding, because of really cool Pixar movies like Inside Out, we now know, we don't know, but we assume from all the knowledge that we've accrued over time that human beings dream because it's simply our long-term memory and our short-term memory battling it out to figure out if we want to keep those memories or not. That's my understanding of it. However, I'm also, the human experience in me is completely understanding that, you know, these reoccurring dreams that we get of like teeth falling out or whatever.
Yeah.
When you're stressed, you get certain dreams.
Absolutely.
So that means that your subconscious is at play there.
And that's very Freudian, his book Interpretation of Dreams. Dreams are set up to relieve your anxiety, sometimes by making you anxious so that you don't have to worry about being anxious about it anymore.
I don't hate that.
It's pretty cool. You're like, I know you did a lot of cocaine, but that's like a really... If somebody was on a lot of cocaine and told me that, I'd be like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure. Let me get a bump.
So I've been tracking, because we're going to start with some prophecy here. And so I've been thinking about my dreams, because I hate sleeping, as you know.
Yeah, you feel like it's a waste of time.
It is a waste of time. It absolutely, like, objectively is. But I'm in that. I watch this influencer. And I'm like, he fucking gets it because he's like, people say I'll do anything for my kids. Really? Would you lift weights every day so you can roughhouse more with them? Would you go to sleep early so that you can live longer for them? And I felt that line specifically because that is why I go to sleep earlier, is so that I hopefully anything preventable won't happen. Anyway, so I've been sleeping. I'm trying to enjoy it more, and I fucking hate it. I hate every second of it. As soon as I'm like, that was such a waste of time.
I will say that I can feel after a night of good sleep, I can feel that.
Sure.
I do feel like a different person after a night of good sleep.
I understand. And my wife, same way, because she normally does not have a great night's sleep. But I normally wake up feeling like it's time to get moving. And so I've been tracking my dreams to try to have more fun with it. Like,
have you?
Yeah, maybe that will, because it makes it less stressful. So
this is exciting. I'm so excited for this.
This is just proof of prophecies inside dreams. So here's just a couple here. I was convincing Spencer to play the Goose Game. That's
what?
I don't know. That's the whole dream. Wrote it down.
By the way, I'll play.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm down.
I don't know what this is, but it's pretty interesting. We have some really good ones. I obviously had watched Wicked the night before. You remember in Wicked, there's that girl in a wheelchair? And I thought about her dancing a lot that night. I remember that. Like,
whoa.
Like, was like pretty impressive. Pretty impressive shit. So anyway, the girl from Wicked's in a wheelchair. And then there was a gyroscopic particle accelerator under her seat. It got going fast. I don't remember the desirable outcome, but it was akin to playing a difficult guitar solo.
Okay.
So nonsense or profound? I don't know. You decide. You know, some of these are pretty on the nose. I worked at a Tolkien grammar museum.
Sure.
That was the whole thing. I think I had a lot of fun. Oh wait, there was a subplot in that dream of helping teachers not gossip all the time because of how harmful gossip is.
Dude, Lohan Shara, that shit's murder, bro. I love that. I love that
whole dream where I was lecturing teachers about not gossiping.
Dude, that is such a subconscious you thing to be happening. Like, I don't want to go to fucking work. These people fucking complain.
I don't like the gossip.
Oh, dude, nobody does. But when you're in groupthink, you do it.
Mm-hmm.
It just happens. It comes out.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Battle Buddies. We are starting with Book 11 of the Odyssey today. This is part 4?
Part 4.
Part 4 of the Odyssey. If you've made it this far with us, which I'm sure you have, because this is fun, and we're prepping for Christopher Nolan world.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to get it from the Battle Buddies angle before you dive in.
You got to understand what he's going to change to appreciate the changes.
That's
Absolutely.
touche.
So today is all about going to hell, or Hades, which it just brings up so many interesting questions.
Yeah.
I love this part. I don't know if it's my favorite part of the book, but it's right up there.
It's metal.
Top 3.
So there's a song by Lamb of God called "Walk Through Hell with Me." It's so
cool.
good.
Before we go into hell, we're going to look at the hero's journey again to remind ourselves of what's happening here. So we are at stage 7, which is approaching the innermost cave. My critique of the approaching the innermost cave in modern storytelling is that we gloss over this one too much. I think this one is underutilized and underexplored in popular media, whether it be anime or movies or TV shows. There's so much room that like modern American psyche has not been able to appreciate.
Why?
I think it's like a don't bore us, get to the chorus kind of moment. This is the penultimate moment usually in the story. This is right before you have the supreme ordeal that you've been waiting the whole story for. And if you rush this part, people don't really mind in terms of pacing, but in terms of storytelling and your story holding up to scrutiny and not having to suspend disbelief and all the things that make stories beautiful, skipping this part really hurts it because it hurts the character development. And in this part, it's your character learning the truth. Like they're learning something. They're going into hell. They are confronting their father's killer. Their mentor is being slain in front of them. There's all these things that you can see how you could rush it, right? Because you could, in Star Wars, kill Obi-Wan, and then Luke now has all the justification he needs to destroy the Death Star. Whereas before he was kind of more on the fence. He just wanted to fly an X-Wing and get out of Tatooine. But now, you know, in relation to his aunt and uncle and Obi-Wan getting murdered, he's in. He's full in. But there's still room there. And Star Wars actually does a decent job, the first Star Wars.
This is a concept that's also brought up in the Bible that I personally see where they bring up the wilderness.
Oh.
Like people need, it's a theme that's brought up in a lot of different books of like, you need to go out into the wilderness and find your shit.
Sure. I was thinking a different biblical story that's often referenced was Jonah and the whale.
Sure. Big fish, how dare you?
Big fish. So going into the belly of the whale, this is often what it's called, right? Receiving the truth. And
oh, interesting. Much like in Most Cave, correct?
Yes, absolutely. Now, when people are analyzing it, they think of, in terms of Star Wars, we've been using Star Wars throughout because it's just so good to grab onto. I think people get the wrong idea of the innermost cave because they think in terms of A New Hope as a standalone hero's journey, which it kind of is, but it's also a longer hero's journey if you take that original trilogy and you take in the best of the 3 movies, which is The Empire Strikes Back. Not my favorite, but is the best. A New Hope is my favorite by far.
I would say that Empire Strikes Back definitely aged the best.
Yes.
I think at the time it was very controversial.
Which is just a signifier that it's probably better than the other ones.
Maybe.
Right? This one's ruffling feathers more than A New Hope. Probably doing something right, you know?
Yeah.
And in Empire Strikes Back, towards the end, Luke Skywalker has this kind of weird scene. And what's good about it is it's slow. It takes some time. Yoda, he's doing flips with Yoda. It's dope. I loved the flips as a kid. It's awesome. And then Yoda kind of stops and gets off his shoulder and he's like, you got to go into this cave by yourself. Literally a cave because, of course, George Lucas loves the hero's journey. And then he goes into the cave and he sees Darth Vader in there. He thinks he's been tricked by Yoda. He fights Darth Vader and kills him. And then Darth Vader's helmet opens up and he sees that it's really himself. Crazy. There's all this stuff and he's committed now. He's kind of shattered. It really sets up the payoff that we get in Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, it's like, who are you fighting?
Yes.
Yeah, I love it. I remember as a kid watching this and my dad being super unsettled by this scene, and I loved it.
Yeah.
I was like, this is tight.
Yes.
This is metal as fuck.
Yes. It's very good.
But my dad also had daddy issues, so he probably didn't have, I don't know. Like, you probably couldn't see this scene for what it was.
Right. Now,
Good shout out. That is a solid scene of Empire Strikes Back.
it's
by
a
the way.
really good scene. And I looked up multiple sources because Star Wars is always brought up with Hero's Journey. So I looked up multiple sources of how people are explaining Star Wars with the Hero's Journey. Nobody's talking about that scene. Everybody's talking about Death Star. And I think they're missing that point.
That's how we do it here
Yeah.
at Battle Buddies, bro.
They all say, we'll talk about it with the Oracle stuff, but that it's an Oracle moment and that the Oracle moment is him understanding that Leia is on the Death Star and about to be executed, which is like, yeah, kind of. I think Obi-Wan getting murdered better, but that's just me. Okay, so Odysseus, he is talking to Cersei, right? He's getting ready to leave Cersei's house, her island. And Cersei is kind of fed this information. We think it's from Apollo, maybe. And he needs to go essentially obtain a prophecy, which is a normal thing to do, I guess, in Greek stories. At least in Greek myths, it's a normal thing to have to do. And we know there's some truth to this because the Oracle of Delphi is both a literary convention and what seems to be a reality that Roman emperors, I think Hardati, like went to the Oracle of Delphi. Like that's absolutely encoded. He paid them for prophecies on who Homer was, ironically. So this is a thing, which makes sense, right? We want soothsayers. We want to know what's happening. I was thinking of modern equivalents. It's like a risk analyst. Risk analysts, you pay them, I don't know, $100,000 for their consulting fees at big firms. But if you look at their track records, they're pretty bad at their job. They can't actually predict if things are, but they're soothsaying and they make you feel better and you paid them a lot of money, so they must be good at their job.
It's everywhere, dude.
Yeah.
You open up your ESPN app, and under each game is the betting odds.
Fantasy football. Right? Is
You know
this
what I'm
person going to go
saying?
off or not? Absolutely.
I think that helps to bring it all full circle. That kind of helps with the mysticism of it all.
It
right?
does. Yeah, because we use very low stakes stats. Like very linear stats. You're like, but life is not linear. Are we're just ignoring that part? I don't know. I don't get it. But whatever. It's fine. That's why we have Thinking Fast Slow by Danny Kahneman to remind us. Okay, so he has to deliver this. He has to get a prophecy. The issue is he needs a prophecy from a fucking dead guy, which is dope.
That's very metal.
It's very cool. So he has to go to the secret island and go into the secret cave. And then he has to do a bunch of things. And I just want to talk about them because they're kind of crazy. But they make sense. He has to dig a square pit. That's the first thing he has to do. Then he has to take milk and honey, then wine, then water, like pouring them as like libations. Then he has to sacrifice like a black sheep, I think maybe an ox or something. There's some animals involved. And then he has to offer the blood of those animals through the sacrifice to give strength to the dead to speak.
The imagery is insane.
It's awesome, right? That's exactly why it's so great, right? You just imagine it. Yes, an exact square. There's animals. They're slitting their throats and pouring it in. Like, it's so much fun.
It's fun. Exactly.
It's exactly what this is.
Very, the symmetry of the square gives Wes Anderson.
It does. I've not had a Wes Anderson lens on this,
but
I do like it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I was thinking some like Aleister Crowley kind of like silliness.
That it is also Aleister Crowley,
Yeah.
for sure.
And then he has to use a sword to hold back the unwanted ghosts.
Cool.
Absolutely, right? So he's literally sword drawn, fighting shades. That's what they're called.
Cool.
Like, it's awesome. So him and his crew, they do this. And the goal is he can't let any of the ghosts drink the blood until he speaks to the prophet that he needs to find, which we'll learn about in a minute. And we'll see how it goes for him. But what you said is, it feels very cinematic. Remember that, because that's actually something that I want to talk about on like the meta level of this scene and why I think we like it so much. Because there's some cool stuff written about it. So the first guy that comes up to talk without drinking the blood. So we get some cool. If you're into religion or my favorite part of religion, which is why I can't ever follow religion, is trying to pick apart like the loopholes and the rules of it. It's just like, I think that's like the cool part, and the fact that like you don't get always I'm surprised when I'm not met with like love and enthusiasm for it, but instead met with like, stop questioning it. Like, so, but this is a part where we can understand the Greeks' view of the afterlife. So the first guy they meet is this guy, Elpenor. Elpenor, he's the dude who got drunk and broke his neck on Circe's house. So he had a reason to die. Remember that guy? It was their last night at Circe's house. They're getting ready to leave. And I said, and a dude breaks his neck. And you're like, why? I was like, it's just fun.
Gotcha.
But there's also this moment. It's kind of an add-in to the story. What he basically says is, listen, I fucked up. You know, like I died. I have a wife and kid at home. And Odysseus is kind of like, why can you speak? Because you haven't drinking the blood yet. And shades shouldn't be able to talk. And he said, because you didn't bury me. You know, you didn't burn my body. And you didn't offer me the proper burial rites. Which, again, shows how important those burial rites are to their culture. Don't fuck with that, is what they're all telling each other.
This sounds like lyrics from Metallica.
It does, right? Absolutely.
It does.
And he says, you know, after this, you need to swear an oath that you're going to go back to Circe's island before you move on, and you're going to give me a proper burial, and you're going to put an oar, you know, in this specific way as kind of like a headstone thing, and then you're going to also visit my wife and kids and tell them what happened to me. And he swears the oath. He's like, yeah, absolutely. Like, that's what humans do. Again, this story is being told to hold towns at a time. This is them reminding each other of what's owed to one another when they die.
Each culture kind of has a thing about how we remember.
Yes. And there's
people.
practical parts of it, because what he's basically saying is my wife and kids will never fucking know what happened to me, and they're going to spend literally, not figuratively, literally the rest of their lives wondering.
Yes.
And it's on you, the dude who was next to me with the spear in hand, to go tell them.
It's interesting.
I like
how
it.
that there's like damage to that if you don't.
Yeah, right. What are the
provide
repercussions as a culture? Huge.
Generational trauma, I
Yes.
suppose, would be the
That's
short
how,
answer.
That's how I was thinking about it. Like, on a macro level, you're reducing a lot of that trauma by doing the simple act. And so just reminding each other constantly, let's fucking do it.
Powerful shit.
It's cool. It's really cool.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
A little bit of goosebumps from that. Like, in terms of, it's not a religion, it's the culture. You know, like how those things are tied together and what we owe each other. Okay, then, this one sucks for him. He meets his mom. Anticlea. He didn't know she's dead, because she wasn't dead when he left for Troy.
Oh, so
He's like, Mom!
Oh, shit, you're dead?
What are you doing here?
Here, dude? Oh, man.
And he's like, is Dad here? It's pretty hard for him. He doesn't really understand why his mom's there. So she has to explain, I died of a broken heart. Just mom guilting it up.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow, that's like something that'll never go away. That's funny. We were just talking about that. I was talking about that today with my mom on the phone.
Were you?
Yeah, just mom guilt and how it never goes away.
Yep. So then, Tiresias. Tiresias is a character. I don't know how to describe him correctly. Do we have any characters that recur through multiple like movies, even though they're not connected movies? It's like James Bond almost, right? How James Bond just appears, but it would be a secondary character, like almost like the butler of Batman kind of thing.
Okay.
He's in all Batmans, no matter what, and
it doesn't matter what generation of Batman you are or what universe. There is a Alfred.
Yes, and Spider-Man always has an aunt. There's always the secondary character, but it'd be like if Alfred and Aunt May were the same character. Like, they literally have the same name. That would be Tiresias.
Okay.
And so in most Greek stories and into Roman stories, there is a Tiresias of some kind. If there's not like the Oracle of Delphi or something more specific. If they just need an oracle or somebody who has the gift of prophecy, you use Tiresias. And it becomes interesting because you get to decide as the critic and the historian and the literary scholar, am I saying these two are the same person in this instance in separate stories, or am I saying they're different people of the same character trope, or, you know, the Jungian archetype of the truthsayer? His stuff is interesting. In Oedipus Rex, which we'll actually get to in a minute here, Oedipus Rex, of course, being the beautiful story of a man who murders his father and marries his mother and then gouges out his eyes. he's given the prophecy by Tiresias. Tiresias is blind. In that story, Tiresias, I think he like hit the head of some snakes. Those snakes turned out to be a god, and the god turned him into a woman for a while and then took his sight. It's complicated gender stuff. But he gives him a prophecy. So that's the guy we saw earlier. That's the guy with the golden scepter earlier when I introduced this chapter or this book. And he gives him his prophecy. What's interesting about Tiresias, too, is he doesn't need the blood. The blood that they said, don't share with these ghosts because they're all hungry for it. Because the implication is that Persephone and Hades, they have given him the ability to retain his abilities through death, which is weird.
Why would they do that?
I don't know.
Huh.
That's one of those interesting things because they clearly wrote it into this story. So it's a trope. Maybe they were using as prophecy as well. Like maybe that shows how powerful prophecy really is. And I think what we're seeing here too is different variations on how they see the afterlife. You are retaining some of your memories, but it's clearly not pleasant if somebody has not buried you correctly. If you had some type,
I guess that's kind of a way to you need to respect the dead. It's kind of a thing of what the message is there. I guess
absolutely,
yeah.
And if you had some godlike gift, you might retain a little bit of it. So maybe it's an encouragement to gain your godlike
which I guess
gifts.
would be kind of like an explanation for spirits. I guess you know what I mean. Different realms of spiritual things that can visit you from after they die.
Sure, maybe it's for visiting. Also, death kind of sucks in the Greek culture.
I guess that would you would want to influence a culture not to want to die, right? Right?
Sure.
You would want them to continue living on and procreating and spreading your culture and living on.
Yeah.
Immortalizing your culture, which the Greeks really did well.
They did it really. We're still talking about it.
Yeah, we are.
Sure. Okay, I like that. Yeah, because it sucks to be dead in this story. His prophecy it's kind of long-winded, but we don't need to talk about all of it. It's essentially, you have two paths ahead of you. You can go home and things are going to be great for you. But that will only work is on your way home, you're going to have to stop at this island because it's the only island that you'll have access to. And Helios, right, of the sun, he has some sheep that he really likes these sheep. Don't touch them. Don't fucking touch them. If you don't touch them, you're good. If you touch them, you'll still make it home, but you're going to lose your ship. You're going to lose your men. You're going to lose all the stuff you stole from Troy.
The only stipulation is not to touch sheep.
Don't touch the sheep.
Okay.
Yep.
Do these sheep have specific powers?
No.
They're just sheep.
They're just sheep.
Okay.
But this is prophecy, so we'll see that. We'll see if the sheep get touched.
Yeah,
we know they do because we know that Odysseus got marooned onto the shore of the Phaeacians without any crew or people or loot. So we know that that's going to go poorly, which kind of becomes why I put the scene in. There's moments for Odysseus' character here to understand. The rest of this chapter is fucking fascinating, and I spent way too long trying to read what people are saying about it. And I don't necessarily love everybody's take on it. Not necessarily. I don't love everybody's take on it. I think most people's take on it are kind of lame.
That's good, though. So what is your take on it?
So let me set up the issue.
Okay.
Well, first we get Odysseus' mom actually coming back and saying it. So he sees her at first and tries to talk to her, but she can't talk because she's a shade. After he talks to Tiresias, then she comes back and drinks the blood, and he talks to her. But then we're going to get a bunch of stuff. We're going to get a bunch of famous ghosts. We're going to get the mother of Odysseus. Not Odysseus. Oedipus. That's this lady. Epicaste. She's the wife, mother of Oedipus, that ends up, causing all of that drama to happen.
Okay.
He meets a bunch of other famous ghosts. A lot of them are women.
Famous ghosts.
Yeah, like for the mythology, like all these famous.
Like, oh shit, you're here.
Yeah.
You're here. So it'd be like if
he meets Nestor's mother.
That's so you're
Yeah.
you were responsible for this shit.
Yes.
You're the co-creator of Nestor. Sorry, I'm getting like it's giving. If you and I went to hell right now, right, and we would be like, oh shit, dude, fucking. I'm trying to think of somebody perfect that would be in hell right now. Think of somebody in hell that would be. Holy shit, Hunter S. Thompson's over there, bro.
Hunter S. Thompson.
Let's go have a conversation with Hunter S. Thompson.
Yeah.
Let's go have a conversation with
Robin Williams.
Ooh,
Dude, it's some fun. Chester from Linkin Park.
Now we're talking. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have some people to talk to.
Yes.
Walt Whitman. I need to ask him about his masturbation habits.
I knew Walt Whitman was
I
gonna
need
work
to
it
ask him about his masturbation habits. Like, put this to bed for me, friend.
Chilling in the corner of hell, masturbating as we speak.
Furiously. Okay. He's meeting all these people, and then the question becomes, why the fuck is this in the story? It's a big question. A question people have been asking for a long time. Basically, since we've heard this story for the first time. And there's a lot of really lukewarm, like boring takes. I think the most interesting line to think about here is this little caveat. It's a little moment that I caught when I was reading it again today. And it kind of dawned on me what's happening. And we're forgetting that this is a framed narrative. Because that's what my complaint, right? Of my worry when Christopher Nolan does this film is that he's not going to focus enough on the framed narrative. Meaning that it's Odysseus with the Phaeacians telling the story of how he got to the Phaeacians before he goes home. Okay. That there's like the weird complexity there. And if anybody's going to not skirt away from that, it'd be Nolan because he loves that nonsense. But in this moment, there's a break in the narration, and we're back with the Phaeacians. In Odysseus, they're all around a campfire, essentially, late at night after the Olympics that they just had. And they're like, keep going. And he's like, all right, let me tell you this other ghost I met. And he's kind of just telling ghost stories of famous stories. And the implications of it are awesome. Like, oh my God, can I even trust what this guy's saying right now? Is he an unreliable narrator in an ancient Greek myth? That's unheard of. Like, what does that mean? Like, that could mean anything. That's crazy trying to think through, like, is he just telling big fish stories right now? Awesome. Or is all of this real, but because they're asking him, he's just giving them just a little bit extra?
I love the idea of him being Albert Finney and being
yes!
Like, and I met Nestor's mom.
Yes, I met Nestor's mom.
By the river.
Have you ever heard of a story called Oedipus? And everyone's like, Oedipus, that story's fucked up. And he's like, yeah, it is. I met his mom, dude.
Yeah. Met the family. Crazy shit. I love that.
Yes. So that's like a little break. And then it comes back more into the pacing with the story of what are we doing here? We're trying to get him back home. But I just don't skip that part. I hope Nolan doesn't skip that part in terms of you get to these ladies. Also, it's a critique of Homer that I have is he doesn't have a lot of strong women in it. It's cool to hear from a lot of these women. And then I hope, Nolan finds a way to kind of put that back in there.
Hey man, I mentioned Big Fish already in this series.
Well,
you didn't say shit. I didn't know you were a Big Fish fan.
Yes.
I fucking love that movie.
It's a great movie. Of course you love Big Fish. That's clearly a Spencer movie.
Like
in the best
Spencer
way.
Vibes?
It does.
Yeah.
Like in a really good way. Like it's a wholesome Spencer moment.
Man, I had a fucking guy in boot camp come up to me. He's like, do you like 60 Days of Night? And he's like, that seems like a movie you would like.
All right. Then he starts meeting his friends from the Iliad, from the sacking of Troy, which is cool. We understand now why he needs to go see an oracle, right? This kind of makes sense. And before you're like, I don't really get why oracles are important to these kind of stories. Remember The Matrix when Neo's like, I'm not sure if I want to do this or not. And then he meets a literal lady called the Oracle. And then from that exact moment, the rest of the story pacing increases like tenfold. And even Morpheus, he's like, let me tell you what she told you. He's like, don't tell me what she told you. And then like Agent Smith bursts into the room right then and there and it takes Agent Smith out of the window. That's all good pacing based on the Oracle part of innermost cave.
The scenes in the sequels where he gets to chill on benches and talk to the Oracle is some of the best writing in that series.
Some of the writing, there is a lot of Homer nods in the second and third Matrix, but the Oracle scenes, the Oracle scenes are really good.
Yeah, I love those. I love those scenes.
The first movie's still very
goated.
It's
goated.
Very good.
Yeah.
They were inspired. But okay, we're going to get Agamemnon first. He's the first ghost of the Iliad buddies that he gets to meet. We know Agamemnon's dead, but Odysseus doesn't. He's not talked to anybody. Now, we've talked about this story a bunch of times, and we've talked about it a bunch of times because it's weirdly important to the story of the Odyssey because of the timeline shit that goes on. It's 10 years for the Trojan War, and then kind of 10-ish years to come back. And why is it 10 years, and why is it only 3 years for things to start going wrong in Odysseus' house? It's all tied up in this stupid Agamemnon story, which honestly is boring me at this point because of how important it is to it. And maybe it's just boring to me because Agamemnon's a dick, and I just fucking hate him. So
John Bernthal.
He's like, I died by my wife. I came back with my slave wife, Cassandra. Cassandra, also a prophet, who I think she denied Apollo raping her. And so Apollo said, I'm going to give you true foresight, but no one will believe you, which is a monkey paw type of
dude.
bullshit.
Like, that means nothing.
I was telling
me.
Hannah this morning, I was like, I think the Greeks didn't hold women in high value.
Yeah.
So it's problematic. So Agamemnon, he likes, raping Cassandra.
Oh,
and he's bringing her back.
Is this why nobody watches our show? Because we talk about we use that.
Yeah,
that
I know.
Algorithm is just messed up because when you have a war podcast, like just the R word is just it's inevitable.
But I hate watching people blank out. Like, I don't believe.
True. It's a word.
I hate euphemisms most of the time. They're dumb. No, your friend didn't pass away. They fucking died.
Yeah,
and can we appreciate that for the severity of it?
Hey, man. I hear as I see all these, which we're gonna record them now, whatever. But all this shit that I see, all I just think about is how much rape is happening in war right now.
Right now.
Anyway, go on.
So Agamemnon, he comes back literally with Cassandra in tow, and then he thought he was getting to hug his wife because, as he puts it, I was very excited to be reunited with my wife and kids. And then they stabbed me. Yeah, they did do that. That is a factual statement that happened. I wrote here foil for Odysseus. We haven't talked a lot about foils on this podcast. This year's the first year that I actually forced 8th graders to learn what a foil is. I won't go too deep into the weeds. It's very fun, though, once you start picking out foils. Foils are when you have two characters in a story, and the problem is they can be any fucking character, and that's what makes it really cool. And these characters, you're supposed to juxtapose them. You're supposed to put them side by side. And the famous one is in Hamlet, when Hamlet is so unsure about anything, and then what's-his-face that's off-screen the whole entire play is not having any problems doing anything. He is conquering the whole world while Hamlet's like, I don't know if I should kill my uncle. The character's name is Laertes, Kevin. Please don't miss a bunch of these characters' names in a row as you go through these examples. And the other guy is literally running train through all of Denmark until he gets to Hamlet. So that's kind of what Agamemnon is to Odysseus.
So what is a foil?
Yeah, sorry. It's two characters that you push against each other to understand your main character better. So
it is essentially kind of almost like an opposite situation?
No.
An antithesis?
It can be, but when it's done well, it's not. This is confusing. So, okay, all right, I got one. Frozen. You've seen Frozen.
Let it go.
The sisters are foils. I don't remember the sisters' names.
Elsa and
what's her face? Red hair. Reddish hair. Okay, so Anna. Come on, Kevin. You're supposed to see at first glance that Elsa is cold compared to her sister, reddish hair. I'm getting real sorry about this. But reddish hair girl, you're like, oh, she's more loving. But then it turns out she's actually naive, and we should all be more cold so that we understand Elsa's character and her motivations better for how court royalty politics work. Because if she had done the same thing as reddish hair girl, then they would have gotten their kingdom sacked super fucking early. And so, but without that character, without the twins having those interactions, Elsa just comes off kind of like an asshole. So you need both so that when the reveal comes that the guy is trying to just take their whole kingdom and Elsa has to stop him, you're like, yes, that's why Elsa had that action early on. It wasn't because she was being heartless. It was because she was aware of how politics works.
I never knew that. I always thought, I don't remember where I heard it, but I remember hearing things along like, you foiled my plans once again.
Yes, and that's different.
Right. And
I don't know what that one is.
Foiling someone's plans would be ruining.
Yeah, I just don't know where they're like the etymology. Like
it's true. Yeah, fair enough. So that's where when I saw foil for Odysseus, I was thinking of like a, excuse me, essentially a spoil, but I was wrong.
It's okay.
That's good to know.
It's cool.
That is some.
It's really fun to look at.
Knowledge right there.
If you've read Crime and Punishment, this is where I learned the term from Mr. Knabe. Shout out Mr. Knabe.
A Dostoevsky situation?
So, Raskolnikov, and I'm trying to remember these Russian fucking names. This is a big pull for me. It's 18 years ago. I got it. Raskolnikov and Zviktor Gailov Raskolnikov is the character who wants to like murder somebody, so he murders like an old lady. It's Crime and Punishment. And then he's me if he committed a murder. He just feels really bad about it the whole time.
Yeah.
He's like,
oh, wow, I'm going to die. I'm going to go to jail.
He's like, this was really bad. I hurt somebody to the point where they don't get to come back now.
Mm-mm.
And that's dramatic, you know. Viktor Gailov murders lots of people and doesn't give a fuck about it. And you're supposed to compare those two the whole time. Viktor Gailov goes so far, I believe he kills himself at the end because he's like, here's how much I don't care about anybody. I'm going to kill myself.
So it's not even, that's crazy. It doesn't even, spoiler alert, by the way.
Yeah. Huge Crime and Punishment.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler for this like 200-year-old book.
Yeah, that's like one of the classics.
It is a class. I should reread that. No, it's really hard to read. Read it with a teacher. You should read that book with a teacher, I think.
Maybe. I read, fucking, what was the other Fyodor Dostoevsky one? I literally just read it. That's crazy. It's not The Idiot. It's Brothers Karamazov.
Oh, cool.
That
How was that?
Fire.
Okay. Anyway, the foil here is that Agamemnon, and I'm kind of quoting here. It's a paraphrase, but not as much paraphrase as you'd like. He says, "Don't trust the bitches," because he calls all women bitches in this part of the story. Like,
are you serious?
Like a lot. It's really bad.
Whoa.
The bitch killed me. Don't trust your bitch. He's like a lot of that.
Tupac.
It is. I was like, this is bad hip hop. Odysseus has to now take that into consideration because he loved Agamemnon to some degree. Agamemnon did lead a successful war against a nation that you're not supposed to be able to conquer. And Odysseus, like we've talked about, our take on him is that he's an officer that kind of fucking loved it. That kind of loved every second of it. And I don't think that that's an incorrect read on Odysseus here. But the point of the foil is that he has to worry that his wife will be the same as Agamemnon. Whereas before this moment, even though he may have had little doubts, he's pretty confident that his wife's legit. So there's just a little added tension here that we get to add. Again, these moments of Innermost Cave add character depth that we get to then reap the rewards of later. We then meet Achilles, and this is a strange part, and it's not what you would expect because all of the Iliad were setting up Achilles' death, right? There's all these foreshadowings. We learn that Achilles was given a prophecy that he will die here. He's getting ready for it. He's trying to be the best he can, so his story will be remembered forever. And then we get probably one of the strongest pieces of evidence that this is a different author than the Iliad, that Homer didn't write both of these stories, is Achilles is like, I hate being dead. I would much rather be a day laborer slave than be me right now. Which is not the way he talked in the Iliad. And it shows a level of reflection. I think it's kind of what makes the Odyssey interesting as a story, to do that to a character that's so beloved as Achilles would have been at that time period.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Bad writing?
No, I think it's deep writing. I think it's to me, it's the Greeks coming to terms with their afterlife system. That there is an issue with it that they're all aware of, and they don't talk about it a lot. And so art is an avenue to then bring up that conversation safely. And I think that's what this moment is. To me, I haven't read any essays on that, but like that's what I feel. Because it goes back to, what's the point of this whole thing? You know, these different rules for different shades. Like some shades still have their abilities. Some shades can't talk. Some shades can talk, but they're mad because they haven't been buried. So to me, this is them trying to come to terms with death in their culture and what that means in their culture.
Got it. Wow. Death is crazy, dude.
It's crazy. We meet Patroclus, Antilochus. Those are both guys that we met in the Iliad. I don't think they really say anything too important. And then we get a kind of a fun line. Ajax, if you don't remember, Ajax, there is an Olympics that happened in the Iliad for, I think, during Patroclus' funeral, where Achilles is giving up all these great gifts. And Odysseus wrestles Ajax and wins. And we talked about how it's because he's so smart, because Ajax is so much bigger than him, and it was a great moment. Ajax won't talk to Odysseus. He's still fucking pissed that he lost to him.
I can't believe this bitch beat me.
And Odysseus is calling for him. He's like, no, you beat me at wrestling. He like walks him back to Hades. He literally goes back to Hades instead of talking to Odysseus.
Dang. I'm going to go to hell rather than talk to the person who beat me in a wrestling match.
I love it.
Dude. The ego is a motherfucker, bro.
Dude, it's so good. I love that line. Again, it feels very human in that moment.
It does.
He meets a lot of the gods and men. This starts to feel like Odysseus again telling the campfire story, you know, getting a little bit extra. I always like Sisyphus whenever Sisyphus appears in the story.
Of course, dude.
Albert Camus with his existentialism, you must imagine Sisyphus happy. Like, you got to. He's pushing that boulder up. Isn't that great? Isn't that great, son?
Dude, absolutely. One of my favorite books is the Gray Man series, which if you haven't watched the movie on Netflix, it's fun. But Ryan Gosling, and there's a part where he has a tattoo of Sisyphus.
Cool.
And, you know, he's prior like special forces contractor type situation. And he's like talking to this kid. And she's just like, I don't understand your tattoo. Like, what's he doing? He's like, pushing a boulder. She's like, why? He's like, because he was told to.
Yeah, he has
like,
to.
You know what I mean? Like, and as he's explaining to a kid, he realizes that you kind of have to be an adult to really appreciate what Sisyphus is.
Sisyphus is a cool story. It's so simple, and it resonates so well with mortality. Of just, you push that boulder up, you're not going to get to the top. And that's fun.
I do love it.
Because if it's not fun, it's going to drive you crazy.
Correct.
And so
it's happening anyway.
So you got to imagine Sisyphus happy. And that's just all there is to it. And so I do. He even finds Heracles. This is the strangest, most complex part. And it's like 3 lines. But Heracles comes out and says, oh, did they ask you to do a labor as well? Because Heracles does like the 12 labors, right? And one of the labors is he has to return Cerberus, the dog, back to Hades. But Heracles, in Greek mythology at this point, is a god. He's on Olympus. So, in their cosmology, somehow, because he went to Hades once and then achieved godhood, there is like a ghost version of him in Hades.
So like an astral projection situation almost, or like some type of projection?
But I don't think it's the same guy. It's like him pre-godhood. He's like split. Like his soul is split. It's weird. It's complex as hell.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I read a little bit. Somebody was getting into it, and I was like, I gotta stop because I'm gonna lose all
sight of it.
All the sauce is
It gives
gone.
force projection vibes.
It does give force projection vibes. But it's fun to start thinking about that. You know, people don't change. People get overly complex trying to come up with loophole stuff and like how this all works. I love it. Even back in the day,
humans are always trying to find answers.
They are. Okay, if you are still with us, thank you. It gets a lot faster now because we've eaten our vegetables.
We're now downshifting.
We're downshifting. That is in hero stories. This is like that moment is like, all right, game on now. Like once you can recognize that moment in a story, you're like, it's the montage, right? They're reading maps. It's literally montaging and reading maps. That's how we teach it to kids. Like as soon as that fucker in a G.I. Joe movie pulls out a map, you know that's the innermost cave. Like they're doing it now.
Okay, that's a good way. So the innermost cave is a montage.
It's a montage. They're
good.
They're getting it ready.
It's Rocky.
It's Rocky,
He's running and
Yes.
boxing and meat lockers and shit.
Absolutely.
Gotcha.
Because then right afterwards, fast as hell.
Yeah. Now we've expedited the process to go fight or go do the thing.
And it might literally be the montage is why it's condensed now. Because in terms of screen time, the montage is to shorten a lengthy moment.
Yeah.
And book 12 is like fairly lengthy in terms of the density of it. Like it took me a long time to read it because I was trying to follow everything and there's so many references but the payoff was great because I felt like I knew Odysseus. You know, that kind of stuff with montages we miss. What do we see in montages now? You see characters like laugh, you know, and they like shove each other and you're like, oh, they like each other now. But I don't feel that they like each other.
No. You're like, they're going through trials together.
Exactly.
This is a lot.
And so you're like, okay, I understand the move. I see the move, but I don't feel the move. And that's where now we get to feel Odysseus, the fun guy, telling stories at nighttime to the Phakians and going out to see everything, like why he would choose the things he chooses, which are hilarious. So book 12, he goes back. He puts his buddy to rest, burns his body. And then Circe's like, you got to tell me everything that happened, and then I'm going to help you get home. So he does, and Circe says, all right, you got 2 more trials, friend. The first one, you got to go through the sirens. And sirens, we'll probably have to do a whole episode at some point with like Viking, like famous incidents with sirens, because there's a lot. What happens is sailors say they hear a call of beautiful singing, and then they fall overboard in the ocean, and then they drown. And like, why the fuck does that happen?
Yeah.
We don't know.
It's like moths to flames.
Yeah,
so to speak.
They just go crazy. People just go crazy on the ocean, which makes sense. And this is Homer giving us a story about it. And it shows us Odysseus being Odysseus, because she says, have every guy melt a candle in their ear, essentially, to get the wax in their ears, which is crazy fun to think about doing that. And she said, I know you're going to want to hear them. So have the men once they put the wax in their ear, tie you to the mast so that you can't get out. And then, and that way you can hear them because I know you, and you want to be able to say that you heard sirens and did not fall into the water and die. And that is true. Now with all the stuff we've heard about Odysseus, like, yes, that is this is him. Like, he is that guy. This is fun. And they do it. It's crazy. He's screaming. He's lost his absolute fucking mind trying to get his buddies to untie him so he can go chase after these sirens because their call is so powerful. And his men just like go about their merry way with the candle wax in their ears so they can't hear anything. And they get past the sirens. But hella fun. That's Nolan's going to love that scene.
Yeah, that's fun imagery.
That's a fun scene.
That's super cool.
Then we get to another scene for today's reading that I think people misinterpret. And honestly, thank you to Battle Buddies, because without Battle Buddies, I wouldn't have seen it this way. She said there are 2 paths in this narrow channel that they have to go through. And on one side, on the left side, there is like Skyla. We'll call him Skyla. That's probably not the name, but who cares? It's this giant monster. And this monster is essentially a whirlpool.
Okay.
So it's just a big mouth, and it periodically sucks down water and spits up water. And that's all it does. But it'll kill you. And on the other side, we have this monster. Sorry, that monster is Skyla. The other monster, I forget that fucking monster's name.
It's the Sarlacc pit.
It is the Sarlacc pit. Man, I had the name. Whatever.
It's okay. Post-production, bro.
It's Scylla, or Scylla, and Charybdis. Charybdis is the big giant pit. Scylla is the 6-headed monster. It might be the strait between Italy and Sicily, which we might be doing some Sicily content later on. Boom, post-production.
On the right side, you have this like 6-headed monster. The monster's crazy. It will eat you. It's really bad. And what Circe says is go after the monster. Because if you go after the monster, it'll eat some of your men, but you'll get through it. Like, as long as you do X, Y, and Z, like, you can get through it. And Odysseus is like, shouldn't I go after the big, Leviathan thing and try to skirt around it so that I don't lose men? And she says, no, because you all will die there, whereas this way you'll only lose at most half your men. And that's, to me, an officer's choice, right? Like, that is the thing that's a lieutenant move.
Mm-hmm.
Your lieutenant's deciding how to, like, their big decision on an infantry, like, assault is what direction you guys are going fucking in to go meet some friends. And those choices are going to matter. Like, am I going to risk saving all my men and potential, like, catastrophe? Or do I allow, and I tempo it, and I allow half, a quarter to a half, which is appropriate for whatever a mission, to die to do this attack?
Damn. Yeah, that is a Battle Buddies angle for sure, bro.
Dude, that's fucked.
Yeah, that's a good point. Huh. What is, there's another term for that when you have like a moral quandary where you're like, do you do the ultimate, like you kill one person or you kill an entire train of people?
Oh, the tram car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What isn't there a name for that?
It's the trolley problem.
The trolley problem.
Yep.
That's what this is kind of giving a little bit.
It is.
Yeah.
But it's different. Because to me, this is a gambler's problem. You can risk it all and potentially win it all, or you can risk a little
and get through. Right. And we know what we know what the measured approach is.
Right.
Yeah. But officers obviously sometimes glory and ego will persuade them, as we know with Halsey from Battle of Lady Gulf.
I think that generals are often gamblers, and I think this is Homer critiquing them a slight bit.
Oh, let's go.
Because this is Odysseus' change, right? Odysseus has gotten the oracle. He knows his mistakes from the Cyclops. He's supposed to represent like a different character. He should be very close to being a hero at this point. And he listens to Circe. A literal god is telling him, you won't get through that way, so the gamble is dumb. Like, it's 0% chance. So you're not doing it. You are not him. Like, you are not Jason and the Argonauts. Because that's the only person that's ever gotten through is this other mythological figure called Jason and the Argonauts. And he's like, but they had a god literally with them. And that's a good line for Homer to have, because technically Odysseus has not seen Athena this whole time. So they get through. They lose some men. And they get to that island of Helios with his fucking cattle.
Vacaville.
This is Vacaville territory. You're in cattle country. Yep.
I love it.
And he tells the men, we can't stop here. And all of the men say, we're stopping here. And Odysseus gives a great line. Again, another officer line. Listen, I can't fight all of you. So if you're telling us we stop here, we'll stop here. Just, swear to me that you are not going to touch these fucking sheep, because that's going to end in disaster. And so they all do.
Are they asking to stop because they're tired?
Yeah, it's like the middle of the night. And they're like, we don't know the next place we're going to be able to stop. We need to stop.
Mm-hmm.
So they stop. They run out of wind, so they can't go anywhere. And they spend like a month there. And they lose all the food that they've had over the course of the month. And of course, while Odysseus is out like praying and starving to death, he starts smelling something delicious. He's like, oh, this is great. And he freaks out and realizes that it's one of these fucking sheep that he was told not to eat. And so he goes back and he finds that they have eaten Helios' sheep, which is not good. No good.
Yeah, that's beyond touching it.
Yep. They were starving to death. It's been a month.
Consuming it.
Yeah, they ate the fuck out of that.
But we don't know. Oh, well, yeah, we do know what the consequences of that are.
Yeah, not good. Well, the consequences are interesting because Helios goes to Zeus and it says, I'm going to stop shining the sun. And Zeus is like, you can't do that.
Yeah, that's
can't do that.
No.
That's too much, because humans and gods big fans of you. You're doing great work out there. I'll throw a lightning bolt at their boat though if you want. And he was like, all right, I'll take the lightning bolt. That's fine. So while they're sailing away because the wind starts back up, they get thrown back. Then they get forced, because of the lightning bolt hitting the boat, they get forced into the fucking Leviathan thing on the other side, the thing that they were told not to go to, and it eats their boat. And Odysseus, remembering how it works because it like sucks and then explodes the water like a geyser, he grabs onto the mast like as it happens and like gets shot out, and then he essentially washes up on shore of the Phaeacians, thus completing his loop of his framed narrative.
Woo!
Which is cool. It ties up so nicely. So then things start happening really, really fast. Book 13 represents the last third of the story.
Okay.
So the last third of the story represents Odysseus coming back, and through coming back, him and Telemachus trying to save Ithaca.
His homeland.
His homeland. His home country, where he's king. And I'm very excited for next time we do this, because it gets very, very violent in extreme ways. And
like a Tarantino flick?
Tarantino's a very good... Yes, exactly, a Tarantino. It is Kill Bill. It is wacky. It is going too far, possibly. And so I'm interested to see your take as we get towards the tail end of it. Like, was all this justified or not? Maybe, I don't know.
All right.
So, how it starts speeding along. The Phaeacians loved the story. Like, this dude crushed it.
Yeah, I would have been.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see how this is interpreted. Which
is fun. And again, it could be Homer telling his audience, like, this is a good story. Like, this is fun. It's that meta. The frame narratives are so much fun for what you can do. Like, I'm anticipating the audience loving this part. And I genuinely love this part of the story because it's starting to wrap up. I'm like, yeah, like, this is cool. It's clean. Like, you know what you're doing. Like, I love the expertise here. You are, piloting me through a story correctly. And like, I love you for that, which is great. So the Phaeacians, they're like, all right, we're going to give him a bunch of treasure. And everybody gives him treasure. They're like, we're going to send him back with so much shit. This is called receiving the boon sometimes, seizing the sword. Basically, he's getting the thing that he went out to get. He went out to Troy to get riches, and he lost them because of his inability to be a hero, right? He fought the Cyclops, and he shouldn't have. He goaded the Cyclops, and he shouldn't have, with his hubris. Now that he has shown that he has become who he's supposed to be, the king of Ithaca, he can be rewarded correctly by characters in the story. And these characters are very sweet people, and they're going to have very tragic events happen to them. They wait till nighttime. They load all the treasures onto the boat. They sail away, pulling him with oars. They bring him to Ithaca. They carry a sleeping Odysseus onto shore, stow all of his treasures, kind of nearby him, and then leave. And they leave him there. Just very sweet. They did all the work for him. And here you go, man. Which, it is weird. It's a weird scene. I think him sleeping being important because it is a threshold, right? We talked about the ocean's a threshold, so he's returning back to the ordinary world. These are just clues, I think, for us, the reader and the listener, oh yeah, he was in this magical land. Now he's back in the world.
There could also be a fun little crossover dream state, he's,
Yes, absolutely. Very much a story of is this a dream or is this not a dream? Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely.
And you started the episode with a dream, so I'm trying to loop that back in there.
Oh, good pull. Good pull. So Odysseus wakes up. He's unsure about what's happening. He's like, I don't know where everybody is. Where is everybody? And Athena is disguising herself as this old man. And he's like, old man, where am I? She casts Ithaca in mist. And then they do some going back and forth, and they're always lying to each other. Athena and Odysseus have the most toxic ass relationship with one another. It's awesome. Where they both are always trying to trick each other. And then she reveals, hi, it was me the whole time, bitch. And then he's like, of course it was you. I already knew that. Blah, blah. Anyway.
That's probably foreplay for them.
It is foreplay to the violence that they want to commit together.
Yeah,
Because Odysseus is like, you gonna help me throw some hands? And Athena is the Roman version. Athene says, how do you want to throw these hands? Like, they're now getting ready. And Athene's like, I've been with you this whole time. You just didn't know. Here's all the ways that I was with you. I've been with your son. He's ready. He's safe. We're going to throw some fucking hands, and it's going to be fun as fuck.
Okay.
And he's down for it. Like, he
balls to the wall.
He loves it. This is what I wanted to hear. He has a brief moment where he says something to the effect of, why didn't you tell Telemachus that I'm alive? And she's like, don't worry about it. He's with Nestor. He's doing great. I think he's in Sparta right now, but he's doing great with Nestor's kids. And this is like good enough for me. It's fine. Sounds good. There is a moment, and this is where the foil with Agamemnon is important to the story, where Athene's like, I know you're worried about your wife, so I'm going to turn you into an old man. I want you just to go talk to people and to ask them questions about you and your wife, and you really understand your country again, which is kind of cool.
It is.
And this would be a moment where in a movie you'd cut the scene. You would not have the scene. Fuck no. It takes way too much time. It's not worth it to the average like pacing of movies.
This to me gives the idea of, we'll use Vietnam as an example. Vietnam vets coming back home and seeing how much they've aged from their experience.
Yeah.
And the trying to transform back into normal society after being on like a mission and being hunted like in Vietnam and at war and stuff like that. It probably does feel like an old wise man trying to be on the outside looking in of like, you need to relearn your culture, dude.
Absolutely.
So I like the slow. I like it.
Yeah.
I think it's dope. It's a part of coming back home.
It is a part of coming back home.
I like it.
A 10-year war.
Crazy.
Then we go into book 14. So he's disguised as an old man. And he goes to Odysseus, when he was king, his favorite like pig farmer, essentially. So he had a pig farmer that he really liked. Remember, Ithaca is kind of a mountainous, it's kind of like Northern California
agrarian
coastline. Yeah. But there's not a ton of grass. So it's a lot of the kind of grass that like goats can eat. If a fun part of Vacaville is if you go to Lagoon Valley, there's always goats and sheep eating all the grass because it's rough, it's crabgrass, it's spindly, but animals that are designed to eat that, like Sicilian type of animals or northern coast animals of California, they eat the fuck out of that. They love that. So it would make sense that they would have kind of a Sicilian-based diet of pigs and sheep and that kind of thing.
It does.
And it's cool. And I was thinking through it, tonight I cooked steak and asparagus on a charcoal grill, and my charcoal grill is just a Weber grill. There's nothing fancy. It's just literally I just put coals in it and cook it. And then my wife Hannah cooked a sweet potato, and we opened a bottle of red wine. I don't think that meal has changed in 2,000 years. The only thing that would have changed is that we have access to more cinnamon for the sweet potato, and that's it. I don't have to dilute the concentrated wine with my own water. It's already diluted. Other than that, it's the exact same fucking meal. And I understand a little bit why Telemachus and Odysseus are so pissed off about people eating their food, because that meal was delicious.
Yeah, dude.
It was really good.
That's gonna start your week off so well, bro. After that meal that you have with your family. Yeah.
So I was just thinking through that, like, oh yeah, it's cool how our modern society is so hyper modern, and then sometimes there was no technology involved with making my dinner.
Some things transcend, bro.
Yeah.
Some things transcend, and food is one of them.
And I tried to remind myself, like, literally the cinnamon people would have killed for as much cinnamon as I was able to put on my sweet potato.
That's crazy.
Which is crazy to think about. But my kids were dumping it on there.
What about spices for the steak?
It was just salt and pepper.
So maybe the pepper? Well, no, the pepper would have been available.
I think pepper would have been available. Yeah. Salt, definitely.
Yeah.
And I don't know about peppercorns, but possibly pepper too. And the critique Hannah gave me, not enough peppercorn.
I don't know if the Greeks are getting the same critique as the critique that Anna gave you.
All right, so he goes to the pig farmer, and the pig farmer reminds us, the reader, of the whole point of Xenia. which is strangers are from Zeus and must be welcomed. He literally says that. And there's an extra line that he says essentially of...
That's cool, by the way.
It is a cool line!
Strangers are from God and must be welcome. That's so cool.
Yes. And there's one more line. I think it's something to the effect of, it doesn't matter how humble your means are. So essentially, I don't care that you're homeless.
Yeah.
Strangers are from God. And that's it. That's all I need to know. We're not going to go into it because it's stupid. It's fun when you're reading it, but trying to retell it as a summary, you're like, no. The guy is talking about how much he loved Odysseus as a king, which is kind of odd to me because it would have been like 17 years, 19 years since he's seen the guy, and a lot can happen in terms of leadership in that amount of time. Whatever. Odysseus gives this long, weird-ass story about this made-up person that he is, which is a very common Odysseus thing. I've skipped over so many of his fake stories about himself, of who he is, and they're all elaborate, and they all tie into Odysseus sometimes. There's points to it. It's more about, at this point, like what scholars would be interested in. Like if I was writing an essay, I would like to do all of his various stories about himself and then compare it to his real version. But that's a boring thing. Like even reading that, I would struggle reading that as a professor. Like, yeah, this is good, but like Homer nods. Come on, what are we doing here? And the important part of the story is that he's worried the pig farmer won't give him like a good blanket, a coat for nighttime, and like give him a good place to sleep. That he won't be a good guy. And the guy does. He follows Xenia perfectly. He shows pure love of Odysseus, even though he's assuming Odysseus is dead. So he lets him sleep by the fire inside, and he gives him a good cloak so he can go to sleep. And then the pig farmer, being a badass, goes and sleeps with the pigs because he doesn't want any wolves to get him.
Yeah, plus pigs help cure depression, bro. Pigs are awesome.
Pigs are really cool. I feel bad. I feel bad when I eat my bacon.
Totally, because they're smart animals.
I struggle learning how smart they are.
Yeah. It's crazy how something so smart can be so delicious.
I know. Because like giving up octopus, not that big of a deal to me. I gave it up.
Because they're hella smart.
Because
they have like a sense of humor and shit.
They're way too smart.
Yeah.
And their lifespan is too short for how smart they are.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, especially the women.
Yeah, that's fucked.
They like essentially they lay 1 billion fucking eggs and then they protect the eggs and they die.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, that
sucks. It sucks.
That sucks.
So I feel bad about that. I still eat the piggy.
Same, dude. Trust me, I'm conflicted with it too. I've always told my family the moment we get like a pet pig or chill on some land, which will never happen, I'll stop eating maybe some pigs.
Yep.
Because I'll be like, bro, fucking Phil is dope, bro. That's what I'm naming my pig, Phil. Be like, this dude is has smarter than my dogs.
I'd be okay actually eating a pig that I raised and killed myself.
Whoa.
I'd be more okay with that.
Really?
In theory.
Okay.
I've never done it, so probably not.
I know, dude. I feel like you've become attached, as I would.
No. Okay, yeah, you're right. Because I wouldn't kill him early. It'd be like, listen, I know you're dying of natural causes here. I know you're just getting up there in the years.
Oh, so you're saying you just let him die and then you'd eat him?
I would kill him before he died. Like,
Would that be like a weird morning, like you're crying and eating delicious bacon at the same time?
I think that'd be a really transcendental moment.
A circle of life situation.
I really like that.
Circle of life. Just eating bacon.
Listen, when my dog dies, I'm gonna be very sad. But my dog,
you're not eating your dog.
Tastes like fucking shit.
Yeah, it doesn't.
She's so muscly.
Yeah, it's too gamey.
Horrible.
Too
food.
gamey.
Yeah. And my wife, she can't eat me because you go crazy if you eat people. So that doesn't work.
Yeah.
So pig is the next best option.
All right.
We're
Eating
learning a
pig
lot.
is okay.
It does get complicated though, right?
It does.
I understand.
Email us at battlebuddiespod@gmail.com and let us know how you feel about eating swine.
All right, that's the end of book 14.
Hell yeah.
The next episode will be our last. It's fun. It'll be bloody.
Tarantino. We're ending with Tarantino. This was the penultimate episode.
This is the penultimate. Maids will be hung.
Well, this has been fun. This was a good episode. This was fucking very enlightening. I learned a lot about a lot of different things. And I'm excited to have it all wrap up and watch the Odyssey with you and Joe.
I'm very excited.
And hopefully Greg can come.
I like Greg.
And anybody who wants to come.
Yep.
We're going to come watch the movie in celebration of our series. Thank you for listening, dude.
Thank you for listening.
We appreciate you. And until next time, so
it goes.
Thought
we were doing Hoka Hey for a second. I forgot.
It's, yeah, you never know.